Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about rise of artisanal perfumery in this latest times and why I believe that to be an artisanal perfumer today is probably the best time there ever was to do such craft, and why I believe that this type of perfumery has never been as popular as it is now. Maybe the true old heads, fry heads will start type comments right ahead like, come on man, the golden age of artisanal perfumery it was like 2016, 2005, 15, up until 2020 maybe, when houses like Riche Ladore, like Ansar Oud, were just starting. They had so much to prove. The materials cost was reasonable. The blends maybe were not perfect because they were just starting, but the quality of materials were so high that it overpowered everything. Every lack of skill was overcompensated by the amazing materials that were available at those times, and now they are not, or they are extremely expensive and unreasonable to use, or if used are unreasonably priced. Well, I just want to stop you right there. I am not saying that today is the golden age to be an artisanal fraghead. It's not, by far not that time. I also wish I was aware of this genre of perfumery back then in 2016, 2015, 2019, and got to buy all these first, second, third collections of Riche Ladore, first, second, third, fourth fragrances from Ansar Oud. Well, I was not there. I was not lucky enough. What I'm saying that it is a golden age to be an artisanal perfumer today compared to back then. First of all, maybe I should define what I believe is the criteria to consider someone an artisanal perfumer. First criteria is you have to be a small operation, maybe one or few people operation that is run by the perfumer himself. Good examples: Bornikov, Vasifreza, and Sarud, if we think he's still doing the perfumes himself. Houses like that. Second criteria is to not be IFRA compliant, because, well, the best materials, and probably the third pillar that is required to be an artisanal perfumer, are the materials. And if you are IFRA compliant, you can't use oak moss to the extent you want. You can't use as much rose as you want. You can't use real musk. You can't do many things, and in my head that restricts someone from creating real art. So these are the three main pillars that I would consider someone an artisanal perfumer. If only two of them are met, and you're, for example, small operation, you use unique materials, let's say, but you're IFRA compliant, I would consider these houses not an artisanal but an independent house. Like, the best example would be Andy Tower. Andy Tower, in my mind, is not artisanal. He's independent. He's compliant to IFRA. The materials he uses can be sold in stores, and therefore he's not artisanal. Some people would say, okay, so who are the first artisanal houses in your mind? Well, in my mind, for the longest time, I thought it's Riche Ladore in 2015-16, Bornikov and Sarud, guys like that. But some people would say, okay, sure, but if you look in like India, China, Japan, Middle East, they were always artisanal type attars, oils produced, mixed for hundreds, thousands. Even ancient Egypt, you can say they were using artisanal oils. Yeah, sure, I agree on you here. You're not wrong, but my theme, the thing I'm talking about here today, is artisanal perfumery popularity in Western world. Western Europe, Americas, that's a little bit different here, because even like 20 years ago, people didn't know what artisanal perfumes are. Like the closest thing to artisanal perfumery in Europe was like the beginnings of Serge Lutens or Frederick Malls. But by my definition, they would be considered independent creators, not artisanal creators, because they were always, as far as I know, IFRA compliant, and that's the main differentiation. So why do I say that like it's the best time to be an artisanal perfumer? Well, if we look at our old heads, our founding fathers of artisanal perfumers' popularity in Western Europe, like Riche Ladore, like Ansar Oud, these houses, like Bortnikov, these houses have scaled up their production quite by a big margin. And what does this tell us? Well, that the consumer base has grown, and it has grown significantly. In no time in history before this, there were such a broad possibilities for new houses to appear. Like, I hear of a new house, it's not necessarily been established like this year, but I hear about new houses every day, the most in my life, because social media, connectivity, the fraghead world as a whole, growing people talking, you don't need to create even something crazy, revolutionary, to get noticed. Like, I am a very, very small channel, and I talk about stuff I love. For example, Vasif Reza, I'm mentioning him in every video I can, because the guy is... I can't believe someone like that is actually out there. He recently on Instagram posted a story where he said, well, guys, I appreciate your attention, but please stop offering me paid promotions. I have never done that. I'm just mentioning it because the guy has so much integrity that he's like, no, my work will talk, not some stupid paid YouTuber whose audience will not even, I guess, bother to look him up, because they just want their panty droppers. And obviously what Vasif does is not that. Okay, sorry, that's a tangent. I will get back to my artisanal theme. So we live in a time where artisanal perfumes are getting much more attention, that even if you are not well known, you don't have connections to, I don't know, established brands, you still have a chance. All you need to do is to create something spectacular. And Vasif is, in my opinion, the best example of that. Like, after my video, and I realized now before my video, people were seeking out these bottles, being quiet about them, because they don't want other faggots to know about them, because the bottles are limited, as always with artisanal, and everyone is seeking to be there first, while it's still attainable, while the prices are not too big, while the reformulations didn't happen, while the scaling up of things didn't happen. And in regular niche, we have this cycle kind of similar. When a new house is established, at least in the past, most of the time they have something to prove. Like, for example, Roja. When Roja first appeared, he created magnificent scents. Inspired by Guerlain, yes, but they were high quality, one of the best quality niche perfumes you could get. But with time, the formulas got diluted, the trajectory of the brand changed, the goal of the brand changed, they got too big, and now there are rumors that they either getting sold or they are already being sold. It's just kept quiet. I don't know. They're just rumors, but the things we see is like I could believe those rumors, to be honest. So in niche, the cycle is very similar. You want to be there first, while the price is low, while the quality is the best, and while the rest of the world has not heard about you. In artisanal, we maybe don't need to be as afraid of a house like selling out, because like stuff like this, like Ryžla Dore, like Miat, like Vasif, I don't think any big brand will ever buy them, for the simple sake that if you remove the materials from these compositions, they just don't work. And the rarity of materials required to create something like Kohinoor they're just too rare to scale up. And what Bortnikov is now doing, removing the animal derivative products, I believe he's probably will try to become IFRA compliant, and again trying to be Roja, I guess. It's fun experiment. I'm happy to spectate it, but for me personally, I don't believe it can work. Hopefully it can. I wish all the best to Dimitri, but I'm not too afraid that Ryžla Dore will get sold, or Bortnikov, or Ansarud will get sold. I am pretty worried that Bortnikov might get sold in the next 5 years if he's successful in his mission to become, I don't know, mass marketed. So getting back to the point, today artisanal perfumery is as broad and as available as it has never been before. And I'm happy about that, because I can discover people like Vasif, like Masoud, like probably many other houses that I have not discovered just yet. But at the same time, I'm a little bit afraid of this globalization, I guess, because I have noticed that some houses that were very artisanal before, now scaling the production up to levels that I am not sure the quality is sustainable at those levels. We will see. Some new artisanal houses being created targeting the artisanal crowd, but actually not really being artisanal. What do I mean? Like, how do I put this without getting people crowded before my door with pitchforks? With some houses, and I might talk about that in depth in some other video, they create, in my opinion, a facade of artisanal. They use ingredients that they know artisanal crowd enjoys, but if we look at compositions and at the packaging, marketing, inspirations, it seems that they are not here to create art. They are not here to push the needle any direction. They just acquired all the knowledge of people that were before them. They acquired all the data of what artisanal heads enjoy, and they just pump the artisanal type smelling scents one after another with materials and profiles they know people have enjoyed over the years. They're not creating anything new. They're not innovating. They're not seeking any new heights. They're just here to make as much profit as they can for as long as they can, and especially as fast as they can. So this globalization for me is like it has two-edged sword. On one hand, the new true artisanal fragheads have the platform to be seen like never before. But on another hand, I can see there's some of the old artisanal houses, I won't mention here which one I'm talking about, and many new artisanal houses being established right away from a point of maximizing profit. They seem like a sheep while being a wolf inside. And I think that's probably unavoidable. But it's not something I'm very happy about. And that's why I always promote, I guess, sampling on this channel, because not every beautiful bottle and stupid price tag equals to quality and equals to artisanal perfumery. I guess they also serve their purpose in popularizing the genre, because there are many people, plenty of people, who again are the same people who like cool notes and big price tags, but they don't actually want to experiment, they don't want to challenge themselves, so they learn this new cool word ultra niche or artisanal. They flood the new commercially created artisanal houses with artisanal level materials but not artistic ideas. They get their mass pleasing, very well blended perfumes that do not actually challenge them, that they are basically not the one-man, let's say, artistic operations, but more often than you think, just whole operation based to extract money from us. And they are happy with it, because you don't have to go through the pains of learning anything or developing your nose. You're just happy you can spend a bunch of money and get a cool bottle that seemingly for now not everyone have or can acquire, and you can feel cool about it. So why I'm talking about this, my fear is that the longer this globalization of artisanal perfumery goes further, the more of the houses, even the old houses, they might turn to this more profitable, actually more commercialized type of operation. And at least at this time, for now, they're still miles better than what we get in our regular niche stores. So with the situation today, I'm completely fine. They can charge whatever they want. But this transition from artisanal to just popular niche, for example, what Bortnikov is now attempting, I see some risks in it, that at some point there might be so much money and so much attention into this artisanal realm that it just becomes the new niche and assimilates itself into the niche market. Like now, designers kind of assimilating to the niche market, and they all kind of becoming basically designers, just different price points. And the artisanal kind of became the new niche, actual real niche. So it seems like now the artisanal, some part of it, is trying to assimilate to the niche. We have this pottle of everything going on, and my fear, let's say, and one wish, is that after all this soup we're cooking here, there would always be a part of true artisanals, true artists, who could take advantage of now way easier path to getting noticed, thanks to Adam, thanks to Ansar, thanks to Bortnikov, thanks to Sultan Pasha, thanks to people who paved the path for them to be acknowledged like as a legitimate artistic perfumery niche, but to stay there, you know? I know it sounds like I am against like industrial revolution and please kill the machines, they're taking our jobs and stuff like that. But I'm not. I understand the reasoning. I understand why the niche is needed, why designer needed, why artisanal are trying to get more and more money. But I also wish for these true artists to starve a little, don't get money greed, and just keep providing this true artistic passion. Because I believe that these guys like Vasif, like Masoud, are the ones who are actually pushing the needle. Thank you for watching my review. Have a good evening. Please subscribe and goodbye.